What if I told you that the smallest act of kindness you'll ever perform could change your entire life? For 26-year-old Emma Sullivan, that moment arrived on an ordinary Tuesday morning, and she had exactly 60 seconds to decide who she would become. Before we begin Emma's incredible journey, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Stay with me until the very end of this story, and drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel across the world. Now, let's step into Emma's world. The Future Vision Conference 2025 sparkled with possibility. Crystal chandeliers cast dancing light across marble floors, where CEOs in $1,000 suits glided past like sharks in an aquarium. Emma stood behind the reception desk of the Westmore Hotel, her hands trembling as she arranged name badges for the world's most powerful business leaders. "Remember, sweetheart," her mentor Rose had whispered that morning, silver hair catching the light. "Half these people can't remember what they had for breakfast. But you'll remember their names. That's your superpower." Emma's photographic memory had always felt more like a curse than a gift. In middle school, kids had mocked her for it. Now, at 26, she'd learned to make herself invisible, a quiet shadow arranging badges with fingers that never stopped shaking. That's when Mr. Zhang approached her desk. Emma's breath caught. His badge read, Mr. Lin Zhang, a reversal that would cause profound humiliation in Chinese culture. Her grandmother's voice echoed through her mind. "A person's name carries their honor, Emma. Respect it as you would their soul." Emma's eyes darted around the bustling lobby. Conference coordinators rushed past, oblivious. Her supervisor, Vanessa, was nowhere to be seen. No one had noticed the error. She could just hand him the badge. No one would ever know. But she would know. Emma's heart hammered as she made her choice. Without a word, she discreetly reprinted the badge with the proper name order. She presented it to Mr. Zhang with a gentle smile and a slight bow, the respectful gesture her grandmother had taught her. "Welcome, Mr. Zhang," she said softly, pronouncing his name with careful attention. The businessman's weathered face transformed. His eyes widened, then crinkled with genuine warmth. "You have exceptional attention to detail, Miss Emma Sullivan," she replied, feeling heat rise to her cheeks. "Miss Sullivan," he said, his accent thick with emotion. "Thank you for your respect." What Emma didn't see was the man watching from across the lobby. Daniel Cross, 34, CEO of Cross Media International. A man whose steel-gray eyes missed nothing, whose billion-dollar empire had been built on skepticism after his business partner betrayed him 5 years ago. He'd learned to trust no one, to believe that everyone had an angle. Everyone wanted something. He'd been watching Emma Sullivan for the past 20 minutes, waiting to see if she was real. And what he'd just witnessed made something crack in the ice around his heart. "She just saved us from an international incident," Daniel murmured to himself, "and she acted like it was nothing." Across the lobby, Mr. Zhang turned back to look at Emma one more time. He said something to his assistant, who immediately pulled out a phone and began typing notes. Daniel's jaw tightened. In the cutthroat world of international business, he recognized the signs of significant interest. This quiet receptionist with trembling hands had just registered on the radar of one of China's most influential tech investors. And someone else had noticed too. Vanessa Monroe clicked across the marble floor in designer heels that cost more than Emma made in a month. At 32, Vanessa commanded every room she entered. Perfectly tailored suits, perfectly straightened hair, perfectly calculated cruelty hidden behind a corporate smile. "Wow, you know Chinese too?" Vanessa's voice dripped with false sweetness. "Or are you just good at fixing other people's mistakes?" Emma simply smiled, saying nothing. 3 years as a receptionist at Cross Media had taught her to become a ghost. It was safer that way. "I saw that, you know," came a warm voice as Vanessa stalked away. Rose Martin, the 64-year-old head receptionist, placed a gentle hand on Emma's shoulder. Rose had taken Emma under her wing from day one, seen something in this scared young woman that no one else bothered to notice. "Not everyone appreciates attention to detail," Rose said softly. "But the right people do." I just didn't want him to feel disrespected, Emma whispered. Rose squeezed her shoulder. Don't let others define you with their voices, honey. Let your actions speak. Daniel Cross passed the reception desk, his cold gaze sweeping the room before pausing just for a heartbeat on Emma. He nodded slightly, an acknowledgement so subtle it might have been imagined. But Vanessa saw it, and her perfectly manicured fingers clenched around her coffee cup so hard the lid cracked. Sometimes the smallest recognition creates the deepest jealousy. The morning shattered an hour later. What the hell is this? Daniel's voice cut through the conference hall like a blade. Emma looked up from her desk to see chaos erupting. The digital display showing international speakers' names was riddled with errors. Titles mismatched. Names misspelled. Credentials completely wrong. The Japanese delegation stood frozen, their faces carefully neutral in that way that meant they were deeply offended. Dr. Tanaka, whose groundbreaking quantum computing work had made global headlines, stared at his name paired with the wrong university. His colleagues whispered behind cupped hands. The German executives had gone eerily still, polishing their glasses with deliberate care. The Saudi Arabian delegation's silence was more damning than any complaint. There must be a technical issue, Vanessa stammered, her usual confidence evaporating as she frantically tapped her tablet. The IT department should have— Those are your department's slides, Daniel cut in, his voice carrying that particular quiet intensity that terrified every employee more than shouting ever could. This is unacceptable. Emma could see the panic spreading like wildfire. The Japanese delegation was checking their watches. The German representatives were making pointed glances at the exits. Years of international relationships were crumbling in real time. She closed her eyes, seeing the correct list in her mind, all 37 international speakers, their titles, affiliations, proper formatting for each name. I can help fix it, Emma whispered to Rose, her voice barely audible over the growing tension. Rose grabbed her hand. Don't let fear defeat kindness, Emma. Emma took a shaking breath and approached the stage manager. Her worst nightmare was about to come true. Moments later, she stood on stage, a microphone trembling in her hand as hundreds of eyes turned toward her. Her throat closed. Memories of middle school flooded back, kids laughing as she froze during her presentation, her mind going blank, the teacher's disappointed sigh. Then she saw Rose's encouraging smile from the back of the room. This isn't about me, Emma reminded herself. It's about them feeling respected. With a voice that shook but gradually steadied, Emma began reciting the correct information for each speaker. Dr. Tanaka Hiroshi, Director of Quantum Computing at Tokyo Tech Institute. Dr. Elise Meyer, Head of Environmental Sciences at Berlin University. One by one, the names were corrected. One by one, the tension in the room shifted. When she finished, there was a heartbeat of silence. Then applause erupted across the hall. Daniel Cross stood motionless at the back, watching Emma step down from the stage, her cheeks flushed with relief and lingering fear. Something in her quiet courage stirred a feeling he thought he'd buried forever, a reminder of what genuine integrity looked like. Who would have thought that remembering names could make people feel so profoundly seen? The conference proceeded smoothly after that, but everything had changed. International delegates began approaching Emma's desk throughout the day, not to complain, but to thank her. Mr. Zhang personally brought her tea, insisting she accept it. Dr. Tanaka shook her hand with genuine warmth. You made us feel valued, he said simply. That is rare. But with every handshake, every grateful smile, Emma could feel Vanessa's eyes boring into her back. 3 days later, Emma arrived at work to find her desk cleared. Her stomach dropped. This was it. She'd overstepped, made herself too visible. Vanessa had finally found a way to get rid of her. Rose appeared beside her, eyes twinkling. Conference room. Now. Emma's legs felt like water as she walked down the corridor. Through the glass walls, she could see Daniel Cross sitting at the head of the table, his expression unreadable. This was really it. She was being fired. Miss Sullivan, Daniel said as she entered, his voice neutral. Please, sit. Emma sat, her hands clasped so tightly in her lap that her knuckles went white. "I've been reviewing your file," Daniel continued. "3 years as a receptionist. Consistently excellent performance reviews from Rose. 0 complaints from clients." He paused. "And yet, you've never applied for a promotion. Never asked for a raise. Never pushed for advancement. Why?" Emma's voice came out barely above a whisper. "I just wanted to do good work." "That name badge correction," Daniel said, leaning forward. "You could have let it go. No one would have blamed you. But you fixed it. Why?" Emma met his eyes for the first time. "Because he deserved respect. His name matters. It's how he knows he exists in the world." The silence stretched between them like a wire pulled taut. "I built this company by trusting no one," Daniel finally said. "After my partner betrayed me, I decided that everyone had an agenda. Everyone wanted something." His steel-gray eyes softened almost imperceptibly. "But you didn't even want credit for saving that conference." He slid a folder across the table. "I'm offering you a position as International Relations Coordinator. You'll work directly with our global clients, ensuring cultural sensitivity and personal connection in all our communications." Emma stared at the folder like it might explode. I don't have a degree in international relations. I barely finished community college. I'm just a—" "You're not just anything," Daniel interrupted. "You have a gift for making people feel seen. That can't be taught." He stood. "Think about it. But not too long, we need you." As Emma walked back to her desk in a daze, Vanessa appeared from nowhere, her face a mask of barely controlled rage. "Congratulations," Vanessa said, her voice like acid. "I'm sure you earned that promotion on your knees." The words hit Emma like a slap. Before she could respond, Rose was there, stepping between them. "That's enough, Vanessa," Rose said quietly. "Jealousy looks ugly on everyone, but especially on you." Vanessa's face went crimson. She opened her mouth to respond, then thought better of it and stalked away. Emma took the position. The first month was terrifying. She worked with clients from 17 countries, coordinated cultural protocols for international conferences, and so slowly began to believe she deserved to be there. Vanessa made it hell. She undermined Emma in meetings, spread rumors, accidentally deleted important files from Emma's computer. But something unexpected happened. Emma's kindness began to shift the entire company culture. Executives who used to bark orders started saying please and thank you. International clients specifically requested to work with her. Revenue increased by 40% in her division alone. And Daniel Cross, the man who trusted no one, started asking Emma's opinion on decisions that affected the entire company. 6 months later, Emma was organizing translation requests when Vanessa approached her desk. But something was different. The usual confident stride was gone, replaced by hesitation. "Do you have a minute?" Vanessa asked, her voice uncharacteristically soft. Emma nodded, genuinely surprised. "I used to think you were just some naive receptionist," Vanessa began, her fingers fidgeting with her bracelet. "But maybe I was wrong." She took a breath. "You could have told everyone the presentation errors were my fault directly. You didn't." "I don't want anyone to lose their job," Emma replied gently. "I just want people to feel respected." Vanessa studied her for a long moment. "I've never understood people like you. People who help others without expecting anything in return." "Maybe," Emma suggested softly, "because you've never needed that kind of help." Something cracked in Vanessa's carefully constructed armor. "Thank you," she whispered, "for not destroying me when you could have." 1 year after the conference, Cross Media International gathered for Rose's retirement celebration. The rooftop garden overlooked the city skyline, transformed by twinkling lights that reflected Rose's love of beauty and small things. Emma stood at the entrance, taking it all in. Executives who once walked past her without a glance now greeted her warmly. International clients had flown in specifically for this event. The support staff, who'd been Rose's family for decades, surrounded her with love. "There she is," Daniel said, appearing beside Emma with champagne. "The woman who started a quiet revolution." Emma smiled. I think you're giving me too much credit. Am I? Daniel's usually stern expression had softened over the past year. The international division has broken every record. Client retention is at an all-time high. And it started with a name tag. With respect. Emma corrected gently. It started with respect. Daniel nodded slowly. I've been thinking about what you said in my office. About names being how we know we matter. He paused. My entire career, I focused on results, profits, measurable outcomes. I stopped seeing people as people. He met her eyes. You reminded me what the job is really about. As the celebration continued, Emma discovered a bouquet from the Beijing office. The card read, "To the woman who showed us that respect begins with the smallest details. Your company reflects your values. Mr. Zhang." Emma held Rose's hand, eyes brimming with emotion as they watched the light soften across the room. Around them, the barriers of position and status had dissolved. Executives chatted with maintenance staff. International clients laughed with interns. Genuine connection filled the space where corporate hierarchy used to reign. You know what your greatest gift has always been? Rose asked softly. Emma shook her head. It's not your memory for names or attention to detail, Rose said. It's your willingness to see people. Truly see them, when the rest of the world looks past. Emma smiled, understanding washing over her. This journey had started with a simple name tag correction, proof that the smallest acts of kindness can change lives in ways we never expect. The words we speak reveal our thoughts, but the actions we take reveal our hearts. And sometimes, the quietest person in the room is the one who changes everything. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that their small kindnesses matter. And don't forget to comment below with your city. I love seeing where these stories travel. Subscribe for more inspirational true stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Until next time, remember, you never know when a small act of respect might change someone's entire world, including your own.